John the Apostle is a bit of a sightseer, you could say, literally and metaphorically. And think about it. His vision began in chapter 1 on the rocky island of Patmos. Then in chapter 4, we're told he's taken up into the heavens. On two separate occasions, chapter 10 and 13, he's back on earth, taking in the sights along the shore. Revelation 11, he pays a visit to the temple, and when we get to Revelation 21, which we'll probably get to in a few years, he's at the top of a mountain. In our current chapter, we find him taken in the Spirit to the desert. Notice they said in the Spirit, not by Spirit, because surely even in John's day, they overcharged for bags and seat assignments. Okay, what the text really says is, then the angel carried me away in the Spirit into a wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names. It had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittering with gold, precious stones and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. The word for wilderness found in our text is the Greek word eremos. It's the same word for desert. Some scholars connect this vision to a vision by the prophet Isaiah in chapter 21. It begins this way: the oracle concerning the wilderness of the sea. As the whirlwinds in the Negev sweep on, it comes from the wilderness, from a terrible land. Remember, the prostitute was previously described as one who sits on many waters in verse 1. Yet in verse 3, she's located in the wilderness or the desert. You might think, well, that's a bit of a stretch, but wait until you get down to verse 8 of Isaiah's vision. He hears the watchman declare, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon, and all the carved images of her gods he has shattered to the ground." The prostitute in our passage is Babylon. In fact, verse 5, she's got that tattooed on her forehead. And that message regarding Babylon's fallenness was already delivered back by the second angel in Revelation 14:8. And the message is repeated again in chapter 18. Now, the point is that despite the terrifying and tempting images presented to John and us, the attentive reader would recognize that appearances can be deceiving. Babylon's certain fate should dissuade us from entertaining her invitation. Now, speaking of appearances, the woman is said to be sitting astride a scarlet beast. The beast description is identical to what we've read previously in Revelation 13, which, as we said, then draws upon the depiction of the beasts in Daniel 7. Without rehashing the entirety of that passage, the scarlet color is connected to the bloody persecution of the saints, while its blasphemous names are tied to its false claims of sovereignty. Now, the woman herself seems to be both a parody and a contrast. Now, as a parody, she may be intended as a depiction of Dea Roma, the goddess of Rome. She's that feminine personification of the city. Now, beyond that, she draws our minds in contrast to the other woman, the heavenly mother of the Messiah, who is also the church that we encountered in Revelation 12. And where was she to be found? Oh, that's right, the wilderness. She was called the Great Sign. In Greek, the word is semeion, while the latter woman is the mysterion. The former was clothed with sun, the latter robed in purple and scarlet, gold and jewels. Now, whereas the beast I suggested previously represents empire in opposition to God, the identity of the harlot, to jump ahead, is confirmed in verse 18. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. Now, what do cities and empires have to do with our spiritual lives today? We'll have to pick up there next week. God bless.